Institutions of Higher Learning or IPT students staying at campus are allowed to travel interstate to return to their kampung for the Hari Raya holidays. The Ministry of Higher Education announced today that the National Security Council has agreed for these students to be given the choice to return from May 7 to 12. Now, with the recent surge in COVID-19 cases in the country, how best do we avoid clusters from emerging with this imminent movement? Professor at the Faculty of Medicine, University Malaya, Prof Dr Rosmawati Mohamed weighs in.
So when we talked about this balik kampung, there is this reminder that there's still an ongoing ban on the mass gathering, and this must continue because the risk of spreading to the loved ones, particularly in the elderly, in the case of balik kampung, as it is, are very real. So the question is how best to avoid these clusters from emerging. So really, it has to boil down to adhering to all the comprehensive do-all approach. But in addition, this is probably the best time for us to remind ourselves that these things must continue for some time, and what we need to have differently to avoid the clusters emerging in future is getting the COVID-19 vaccines to the level to achieve herd immunity. But this will take some time still, and this will probably take at least till early next year before we reach 70 to 80% herd immunity. But this is a must, and we must make sure that we have every opportunity to actually try to achieve this with the vaccines. And this is the cornerstone in tackling the pandemic.
Rosmawati stressed the importance and responsibility of those travelling to adhere to the standard operating procedures at all times. She said this is important due to high risk of infection while travelling as well as during gatherings which usually take place during the Hari Raya celebrations.
So one of the measures that we know would work is masking. And mask is one of the key measures to suppress the transmission, and it has been shown to save lives. So mask should be used as part of the what WHO call the comprehensive do-it-all approach, including the physical distancing, avoiding crowded, closed and confined settings. You must have good ventilation as much as possible. And of course, washing hands, covering sneezes and coughs. So these are some of the things that must be stressed over and over again, because responsible behavior in adhering to all these measures is required of everyone at all times.